Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today we're back on the C20 project, so let me get you caught up on where we are. In the last video, I was spraying black epoxy primer on the truck, and it's obvious that we've come a long way since then. So I've been throwing out a couple of shorts trying to keep you guys updated on, the progress that I've been making. But I figured I'd put a video together real quick for you guys. I know that you've been asking for some more content on the C20 project, so here we go. So quick update on where the cab is. So after the epoxy primer, I sprayed it in high build polyester primer and then started the blocking process. And in doing so, I identified some highs and some lows on the cab. So I went ahead and did a couple spots of body filler, and then sanded that with 180, 220, 320, and then 400. So that's kind of where the cab is now in the portions that haven't been painted. So yesterday, I decided that I would get the back of the cab painted completely, and also the firewall, which you can see. If you're curious about the color, this is Nardo Gray, which is an Audi color, and I think it looks fantastic. So this is a single stage urethane paint, and I'm painting this over a black sealer coat, so that kind of brings the color down a little bit and makes it a little bit darker, which I think looks really, really good. So back of the cab is painted, firewall is painted. I also, let me open this up real quick, painted the underside of the dash and also this back panel here, because those two portions are going to be the only portions that isn't covered up by plastic or dash pad or door cards or carpet and stuff like that. So didn't want to waste the paint on painting everything else. That's the only thing that needed to be color on the inside. So I threw the doors on. They're not lined up or anything. They're just kind of on there. So yeah, that's kind of the current status of the cab. All right, so my goal today is to get the cab back on the frame, maybe slap the fenders on and kind of like look at the truck somewhat assembled. And that's why I painted just like this portion of the back. The bed only comes up this high. And same with the firewall. I won't be able to paint that with the engine already installed. So I kind of want to get those two sections done before putting the cab on. All right, and as far as the bed goes, I think the last time you saw this, it was still blue and silver original paint. So I've taken both sides of the bed completely down to bare metal and then primed it with epoxy to get it all sealed up. Also, since we're going to be throwing the cab back down on the frame, I went ahead and painted the front side of the bed so we don't have to worry about that ever again. I'm really excited to see kind of what this looks like, put together as one whole truck. I still don't have like the front clip, bumpers, or a hood, so we'll call it 75% put together. But I think it's gonna look pretty cool. And, once you see your project kind of put together, gives you a little bit more motivation to keep on going. So that's gonna be cool too. And I really can't wait until we get to a point where we can fire this beast up again and hear it run. All right, the next step is to get this guy up in the air and position the truck underneath it so we can drop it back down. This thing is a pain in the ass to move on these rollers. So Amanda's here, she's gonna help me out with that. And I'm gonna put you guys way up there so you can watch it all happen. And we'll be back in a second. All right, so we got the truck kind of where it needs to go. We're gonna need to fine tune it. So we're gonna let it down a little bit, move everything around, and here in just a few minutes, the cab should be back on the frame. we successfully got the cab down on the frame, which is awesome. Next thing we got to do is put the frame mounts in. So I'm going to kind of get them started and leave them loose. We got to take a bunch of measurements to make sure that the cab is, you know, centered left and right and squared up front to rear and everything. So let me grab the cab mounts and then we'll get that done. I know we don't have the fenders or anything on yet, but man, just with the cab sitting on the frame and it all sort of kind of being one color. Maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but I'm getting pretty excited about it. Like, it's starting to look like a truck again, which is sweet. And I'm really liking how, you know, the orange, you know, engine, the silver, and the firewall, like how all those colors are looking together. Man, it's looking so good right now. I can't wait. Put the steering in, put the brakes on, you know, all the parts are gonna start going on. But I can't do that yet because I still have a ton of body work to do and paint. So we're getting close, making steady progress. All right, got my body mount hardware here. So we're gonna crawl up underneath and looks like I missed a spot. All right, noted. I'll remember that for next time, but you can kind of see the hole there. So we got pretty close for eyeballing it, but it looks like we need to come back with the cab just a little bit on this corner and then be able to put the hardware in. All right, so we got this corner all lined up. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in loosely. All right, so I got that one started. Now I'll move on to this guy. And actually already looks pretty lined up. So let's see if that works. All right, it's a little bit of primer overspray on these threads, so a little hard to get started. Nope, nope, nope. Man down. I got the cab all lined up and all of the body mounts started. Also had to make a quick adjustment on the bed to kind of get it lined up as well.
The bed's talking to you.
What's that all about? Anyway, so the cab mounts for single cab is 55 foot-pounds, so I'm gonna get underneath there and get those torqued down and also tighten down the bed mounting bolts, which I don't know the torque spec on those. So I'm just gonna go German torque. Good and tight.
Nice.
Well, I was tightening up these bed bolts. Unfortunately, look at this one. This one just spins. There's a little square hole that these fit into, and this one's kind of been rounded out. So to fix that, I'm gonna use my lightning wand and make this permanent. So I'm just gonna clean up this area and put a couple of tacks on the bolt, weld it to the bed, and that should be good. All right, so I cleaned up around the bolt, so now I'm gonna put, I don't know, probably 4 tacks on the perimeter. This is all gonna be bed lined over in the future, so I'm not really worried about it, you know, looking perfect. Helps a whole lot if you turn the machine on. Helps even more when you turn your gas on. So look at that. That's what a weld looks like when you don't use shielding gas. It is disgusting. All right. Oh man. Decided to do just a little bit more than some tacks and a couple of beads there. Also, what happened before is I was grounding it to the bolt. So the current was flowing from the weld wire straight through the bolt head to the ground. So if you ground it to the bed, then you can flow it from the bolt to the bed metal and it'll stick way better. So that's what I did. So that's on there. The bed is tightened down. Now I think we'll roll it back out to right here and maybe throw a couple fenders on it and see what it looks like. All right, so there it is. Mostly 75%. Obviously couldn't help myself, kind of wanted to see what it looked like with all the sheet metal on it, at least on one side. Get that profile shot. Obviously the door isn't aligned, the fender doesn't even have any bolts in it, it's just hanging on there. So, but this is awesome. This is the first time that I've seen the truck mostly together since I bought the bits and pieces to build it. So super motivated to get this done. So the next step for me is, to continue the body work, get everything lined up, get everything painted. So the next time you guys will see this is when we are shooting paint. So thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.